The WNBA drama just got even wilder. Imagine this. Chicago Sky star Angel Reese, one of the most polarizing rookies in the league, facing a storm she never saw coming. After a heated moment involving Caitlin Clark left fans divided, whispers of a boycott began to spread.
And now,
it's not just whispers anymore, it's a movement. Some Chicago Sky fans are refusing to support Angel Reese, furious over what they see as a blatant disrespect of an injured Caitlin Clark. But here's the twist. Reese isn't staying quiet. In fact, she's fighting back, speaking out, and in some ways, unraveling under the weight of the criticism. What started as one on-court clash has spiraled into a league-wide conversation about respect, rivalry, and the future of women's basketball. So what really happened? Why are fans turning against Angel Reese? And how does Caitlin Clark fit into all this? Today, we're diving deep into the story behind the headlines, the drama, the backlash, and the shocking fallout that could reshape the WNBA forever. Stay locked in, because you won't believe how messy this saga has gotten. The spark that lit the fire. It all started with a single play, one that fans can't stop talking about. During a tense matchup between the Chicago Sky and the Indiana Fever, Angel Reese collided with Caitlin Clark, who had already been dealing with injuries earlier in the season. While some say it was just aggressive defense, others argue Reese crossed the line, targeting Clark when she was vulnerable. In the heat of the game, emotions ran high. Clark hit the ground, grimacing in pain, while Reese brushed past, unbothered, locked in on the scoreboard. Cameras caught everything. Instantly, clips flooded social media. Within hours, hashtags like #ProtectCaitlin and #ReeseOut began trending. For Clark's fans, who see her as the future face of the WNBA, this moment was unacceptable. To them, Reese didn't just play hard. She disrespected the league's biggest rising star. But to Reese's supporters, it was all part of the game, nothing more than competitive fire. That collision became the spark. And like wildfire, it spread, igniting a controversy that quickly moved beyond basketball. Fans weren't just debating a foul anymore. They were questioning character, sportsmanship, and loyalty. The social media explosion. If there's one thing we know about sports drama today, it's this. Social media decides the narrative. And for Angel Reese, the internet became both judge and jury. The moment the footage of Reese's collision with Clark hit Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram, it took on a life of its own. Fan edits highlighted Clark's pain, slow-motion replays painted Reese as the villain, and viral captions framed the story as Reese versus Clark, good versus evil. Reese tried clapping back, posting cryptic tweets about haters and how real hoopers know the game. But the internet wasn't buying it. Fans flooded her mentions, calling her dirty, unsportsmanlike, and even demanding suspensions. Clark's supporters united in outrage, while Reese's defenders fought back, saying critics were just jealous of her swagger and success. The divide grew sharper. One camp saw Reese as a bully tearing down another woman in the league. The other saw her as unapologetically herself, the kind of competitor women's basketball desperately needs. But regardless of which side you're on, one thing was undeniable. Reese had become the center of the WNBA's biggest online firestorm to date. Fans call for a boycott. As the backlash built, it took a new, shocking turn. Fans weren't just angry online anymore. They were calling for real action. Hashtags like #BoycottReese started popping up, with Chicago Sky supporters saying they wouldn't attend games, buy merch, or cheer for the team until the situation was addressed.
think about that.
A rookie player, just months into her WNBA career, suddenly facing the threat of her own fanbase turning against her. For Reese, this wasn't just noise. It was a direct attack on her livelihood and reputation. Reports even surfaced of Sky ticket holders posting screenshots of canceled season passes, writing captions like, "Not supporting a player who disrespects the game." Some local sports radio callers claimed they'd rather cheer for the Fever and Caitlin Clark than their own hometown team. This level of fan revolt was unprecedented in the WNBA. Rivalries? Sure. Trash talk? Of course. But a targeted boycott of a rookie player? That was new territory. And it raised a chilling question. Was Reese about to become the league's most polarizing figure, not just on the court, but in the stands too? Angel Reese breaks her silence. Eventually, the pressure became too heavy to ignore. Angel Reese stepped in front of the cameras, ready to defend herself. Her voice steady, but eyes flashing with frustration, she fired back at the critics. "This is basketball," she said firmly. "I play with passion. I play with energy. I play the game the way I've always played it." Reese insisted she never intended to hurt Caitlin Clark and called out fans for blowing the moment out of proportion. But instead of calming the storm, her words only added fuel to the fire. To supporters, she was standing tall, refusing to bow down. To her critics, she came across as arrogant, unwilling to show empathy. The backlash didn't ease. In fact, it intensified. Clips of her press conference spread online, sparking even more heated debates. But one thing became clear: Reese wasn't going to apologize just to please the crowd. She doubled down, reminding everyone that she's been doubted before and always found a way to rise. Still, the question lingered. Could her confidence carry her through, or was she pushing fans further away? Caitlin Clark stays quiet. While Angel Reese battled the backlash, Caitlin Clark took a very different approach: silence. Clark, who had every reason to call out Reese after the controversial play, chose not to stoke the flames. No tweets. No interviews blaming Reese. Just focus on basketball. And that silence spoke volumes. To fans, it painted Clark as the bigger person, someone rising above the drama. Clips of her smiling in practice or calmly answering unrelated press questions only added to the contrast. Reese was fiery, defensive, and loud. Clark was calm, composed, and quiet. Sports fans love a narrative, and suddenly it felt like we had won. Reese, the villain. Clark, the hero. Whether fair or not, that perception grew louder with every passing day. But here's where it gets tricky. Clark's silence also left space for interpretation. Was she being graceful, or was she strategically letting Reese dig her own hole? Some fans even speculated she didn't need to say anything, because the public was already doing the work for her. Either way, Clark's quiet response only made Reese's loud defense look louder, and the gap between their reputations grew even wider. Chicago Sky in the hot seat. The Chicago Sky organization quickly found itself in a nightmare scenario. On one hand, Angel Reese was a marketable rookie, a player who brought attention, ticket sales, and media buzz. On the other, the fan backlash was real and growing. Should the team defend their young star, or distance themselves to calm the fan outrage? That was the dilemma. Publicly, the Sky tried to strike a balance. Coaches praised Reese's intensity, while also stressing the importance of sportsmanship and respect. Team statements highlighted unity and resilience. But behind the scenes, reports suggested the organization was split. Some wanted to protect Reese at all costs. Others worried her controversies might damage the Sky's brand long-term. To make matters worse, opposing teams started using the drama as fuel. Away crowds booed Reese louder than ever. Fever fans held signs reading, "Justice for Caitlin." Every time Reese touched the ball, the noise swelled. For the Chicago Sky, the stakes weren't just about winning games anymore. They were about protecting the image of the franchise in a league where every fan counts. The question loomed: could the Sky weather this storm without sacrificing one of their brightest young stars? But the message was clear. Some fans were done supporting her. Caitlin Clark, meanwhile, continued to rise, becoming the darling of the league. And every success Clark had only made Reese's critics louder. So, what's next for Angel Reese? That's the million-dollar question. Will she adapt, showing more maturity and earning back respect? Or will she lean into the villain role, owning the controversy and thriving on the booze? The truth is, rivalries fuel sports. And whether you love or hate Angel Reese, you're talking about her. That alone proves her impact. For the WNBA, this moment is bigger than just two players. It's about visibility, passion, and yes, drama. The league has never been this loud, and Angel Reese is at the center of it all. But one thing's for sure, the story isn't over. Not by a long shot.